Good afternoon. Welcome to AI Packers Live. I'm taking you on a fantastic journey to use 7 tips to automate. I'm going to reveal them live today. We're going to talk through them. I'm going to help you think about your marketing, what you're doing, and we're going to be dropping in a lot of tips on how to use AI, proper use of AI, making sure you're not just throwing up slop everywhere and getting you to the point where your business is actually not necessarily on autopilot, but it's doing what you want it to do without you having to do all of the heavy lifting all the time. Because at the end of the day, you didn't start a business so that you could run marketing. You started a business to do what you're doing to help your clients, and that's what we're going to help you do. And so today we're going to be talking about, I'm going to be giving you the 7 tips to automate your growth. There's actually a lot more than 7, but this is a good outline to get us started. So the whole goal today is we want to talk about cutting the redundant work. I want to show you proper use of how you can leverage AI, how you can use this to get your business. I need to move this real quick. How you can actually use this to getting your business to a point where you are not having to do everything all the time, and get you to and help you really help you take control of your business, help you to get to the point where you're not having to worry about, like, is this getting done, where is it coming from, but having a very consistent flow, an everyday flow of how your business is operating, weeklies, making sure that all the essentials for your marketing is taken care of, such as social media posts, blogs, all of that. And to make this work, I've broken this down into the 7 stages of growth. And we're going to dive in and spend some time. So as always, if you have any questions, throw them in the chat. I will be listening. I will be paying attention, and we'll answer your questions as we go. So the first thing I want you to understand, in the AI world right now, everybody has these kind of big expectations of what's happening. But automation isn't about the system doing everything for you. If the system is doing everything for you, it doesn't need you. That's one of the big problems. But on top of that, understanding that there are always limitations on what can happen when automation's taking over will help you to position yourself and your business growth in a way that makes it make sense, makes it easy to actually function. So the automation isn't about the system doing everything for you. It's about removing the redundant, the repetitive tasks, the daily, the weekly, the monthly, the quarterlies that have to get done, that may not be in your wheelhouse, may not be your ideal skill sets. But the automation, leveraging AI, leveraging automation will help you get to that point where you're not doing everything. So the AI and automation focus on building. That's really what it comes down to. Execution is everything. While you refine and execute, cutting your workload exponentially and empower. I'm sorry, I cut this one up a little too much. So automation isn't about the system doing everything. It's about removing the redundant and repetitive tasks. So the AI and automation is focus on building while you refine and execute. Meaning that I don't want AI to come in here and do a live stream for me. I don't want AI talking to you in this environment. But we used AI to set everything up. We used AI to send out to create our automations, to create the images. We leveraged our automation. We leveraged our AI to get it to a point where I get to focus on the most productive, highest performing, highest paying activities within the company. Because you as a business owner, even you in any position, there are things that happen on a day-to-day basis that you look at and you're like, my God, I just spend so much time waiting on a screen to load that it's ridiculous. We want to offset that to automation. We want to offset that to AI. We want to leverage your skill set so that you can do what you're uniquely empowered to do. So to break this down, we're going to break down the 7 stages. There's 7 different stages because there's 7 tips. It just happens to work that way, but it's all about one system. It's all about creating a marketing system to have a framework that is consistently, repetitively doing the things that need to be done. It's doing the work that's required in order for you to actually grow. Because if you don't have a system in place, it feels like chaos constantly. It's like you're always chasing, you're always running, you don't know what's coming up next. That's what we want to avoid. We want to get you to a rhythm in your marketing, that your sales process is just locked in. Get it to a point where you are not having to work, you are doing the high value task. You are getting out there and basically selling and executing. So these 7 stages that we're going to cover is one, your brand, making sure your brand's intact, making sure you've got everything you need moving forward. Second is going to be your traffic. If you have a brand but you have no traffic, you're just a ghost sitting out there on the internet. 3 is going to be capturing, because just because you have traffic doesn't mean that they're turning into leads. The goal of the traffic stage is to convert your traffic. The goal of the capture stage is to convert your traffic into actual leads. Once they become leads, we need to focus on engagement. Like, what happens after you get a lead? How are they being engaged with? How are you following up with them? Like, what is actually happening to the leads as they're coming in? Then we want to look at nurture, because unfortunately, just because somebody opts in, just because you have a brand, they opt in, you drive traffic, you drive ads, doesn't mean they're going to sign up for your services. In fact, 99% of the people, and I'm just making that number up, but I'm very confident in that. 99% of the people who come in are not going to buy from you instantly. It's going to require a little bit of time to nurture them, to build them up, to get them to a point where they're actually engaging with you. And this is true for every single industry. Some of you guys that I see that are on here, I know that you're in like the business loans, business credit, business finance space. Even with something that doesn't require money, like a business loan, a lot of the people coming to you are not coming to you from a standpoint that they're ready to apply for a loan right now. You may run in it, you may capture them as a lead, but there's still reservation, there's still hesitation, there's still things that they're figuring out, like, is this legit? Like, is this actually what I think it is, or is it something different? And this is where the nurture phase comes in. And then after nurture, we have convert. This is your sales process. You notice how like it's taken us 6 stages just to even get to your sales process. This is where you're going to be engaging. This is where you're pitching. This is where you're following up. This is where you are actually asking for the sale, getting in front of them and engaging with them, and taking them to that point that they're actually making the decision of whether they want to work with you. And then the last one that I think a lot of people miss is maximizing. This is actually maximizing a relationship after they've converted and they become a sale. This is where your growth really starts to happen. This is where you go from, hey, okay, they bought a product, they ordered, they filled out an application or whatever, and gets them into, okay, now we've got a raving fan. Now we've got lifetime value. Now we're starting to optimize and maximize everything that's going on with our clients and starting to really build this out into a great relationship, maximizing it. So it's not somebody who's just hanging out on your lowest tier. It's somebody who is actually like buying from you consistently. They're leaning into your systems, leaning into everything that you have. All right, so let's start with brand. Your brand is your foundation. Legitimacy runs through consistency, and consistency is what automation does best. The right tools here are critical. This is the foundation where everything else is built on. And when you're like, Keith, how can I automate my brand? That's a great question. First, we need to establish what's included in your brand. So one of the big things is going to be your social media posts. And website is always the first one. It's a little further on down. We'll get that. But your social media posts. This is having social media is a double-edged sword. I love social media and I hate social media at the same time. I love it because it's effective. You get out in the crowd, people start to get to know you. You get a lot of hate, but you also get a lot of love. Like there's this conglomeration, and it's basically just putting you in the marketplace. It's putting you in front of the people and getting you to a point where people get to understand you. It's free. It's organic. Like you can just go out and ask people, hey, make sure you like and subscribe. Like those of you guys who are hanging out with me here. If you don't like and subscribe, make sure you click the button. Make sure you click all the things, and that way you're following us wherever you're watching. But social media, this is something that you can schedule and publish daily, weekly content without lifting a finger. You can automate your social media posts. You can automate what you're doing. Now, when I say automate, it does not mean that you are not putting together a content strategy. It does not mean that you aren't putting together and reviewing what's going on. It means that you're not having to sit down and create every single image that's coming from you, or review, or just sit down and write out every single social media post that you're going to have. It's about having your AI intact. It's about having the systems intact that you could go through and literally just upload a CSV file with your images, with the content, and then the system just automates it and takes it from there. And you can do this inside of your Profit Lifter CRM. It's not the easiest, but the beauty of automation is once it's set up once, you can use it over and over and over again. There's very few things that I've ever purchased because of a social media post. If I see that if somebody has a post and I happen to run across it, maybe a friend shares it, and I dig in and look on it, I'm starting at that point. I realize that the business is established, and I know that they're there, and I know they exist maybe for the first time ever. The social media post, though, is about me understanding, but it's not necessarily there for the conversion. The social media if you do not have a social media presence, you will notice a huge decrease. And if you've never done it, like, you won't notice because it's not there. But if you start posting and then stop and back off of it, what you'll find is that your lead count will just slowly start to tick down. And it's not always excuse me, it's not always that the social media is driving all the traffic. But if you're running ads, if you're out there, you've got a good SEO presence, maybe you're doing live streams like this, and and people start looking at you and they start following, but they go to your social media page and they don't see that you're active. They don't know if you're still in business. They don't even know if you're still around. Social media will bring legitimacy to your business. It shows that you're alive. It shows that you're active. It shows that you're actually out there doing something. It's not just a website that's sitting up there that you hope will be there. Blog contents. Blogs are an incredible tool for your business. And the reason that I put blog content under your brand opposed to traffic, and you'll find with a lot of these, they're gonna kind of cross collateralize a bunch of different ways that they're working. But your blogs are just as much about your brand as they are about SEO, about traffic, about some of the other things. And the reason is because if somebody wants to know who you are, what you do, how you do it, and you've got a blog, they're going to go and start reading. Like, they'll show up on your website and they may not be ready to schedule a consultation, to purchase, to take the first action. But they're not opposed to clicking and reading a blog and understanding and finding out if you are actually an expert in what you're talking about, or if you're there. Now with blogs you can automate with AI drafts. You can improve them. I use AI to come up with like keyword research, figuring out hub spoke models, doing deep investigations to figure out like which of the long tail keywords are going to be most effective under that hub, and really narrowing it down, and then also keeping track of all of the blogs that are going on. Because if you're running all these blogs, you're putting them together, making it run, getting it there. After time, you're going to have like this entire library of posts, but it's very easy for it to become a convoluted mess, and they start crossing all over each other. You can even start competing with yourself for rankings on Google, and that's the last thing that you want to do. So AI is going to be critical for helping you to draft, keeping track of what you're doing, and creating that steady, consistent pattern of authority building content that gets people to engage. What else can you automate with your brand? Your website build. Look, if you are just getting started, an AI website is not a terrible idea. It's a good starting point. It's better than it's 1,000 times better than nothing. But having a website is one thing. Using your website, something completely different, because having a website is critical, but using your website gets to a point where you realize, oh, I need to, like, as you start growing, as you start getting into it, you're like, I need to change up I need to add some content. I've got a new service. I got a new product. I have a new lead magnet. With AI inside of your Profit Lifter CRM. There's an AI builder right inside of it. You click sites, it goes right there. You can use the AI, just chat with it. It'll go in and fill in the stuff for you. It's a great starting point. Everybody can build an AI website now. Now, I say that knowing that we offer websites and that we build websites for people, because some of you guys, like, you're not like, you like AI, you know it's good, you know it's there, but maybe you even tried to build sites. Maybe you've tried to do some stuff with AI and you realize it's not producing what you think it should be producing you. It's not doing what it's supposed to do. And here's the thing. I go to a lot of websites. I check out what other people are doing, what's constantly going on. I can tell when somebody's made a website with ChatGPT. I can tell if they've used Claude. I can tell if they've used Grok. I can, and everybody's getting to it. Brett and I had coffee this morning. He was talking about, he's like, man, I showed up on a site. He's got a Claude site. And I happen to go to that same site. I'm like, yep, exactly. People know when you're just throwing up AI sites now. So be careful, be sparing with it. It's a great starting point to get you to a point where you're earning revenue. But at some point, you're going to want to upgrade and get it to a point where it's a custom site. You've really got some depth in it. And the content is actually strategic with how you're going. But while you're getting started, while you're automating, having your website there, using an AI builder is a good starting point. It's solid, it makes sense, and I recommend it. It makes sense. Now that you have a foundation, you've got a website, you've got social media, you've got blog posts, how's anyone going to see it? How's anybody going to get there? Traffic. Traffic is the key. You built the machine. Now it's time to start feeding the machine fuel. Traffic. No traffic, no marketing. Automate the no traffic equals no marketing. Automate the testing and the making, not just the sending. Some of the things that you can look at with traffic. We'll dive into this. It's going to be ads, SEO. Our new new thing, SEO, AEO, GEO. At this point, guys, from here on out, I'm just calling it GASEO because that's basically what it is. SEO for search engine optimization, AEO for AI engine optimization, and GEO for location targeting and working on that. You also have organic traffic. Every channel benefits from automation. So here's some steps to automate your traffic. And I forgot to put this on here. If you are a Profit Lifter client, we do have the AI ad platform that will help you actually drive traffic. But on top of driving traffic, split testing and optimization is huge. Hey, Bill, it's good to see you, my friend. Split testing and optimization is going to let you find the winning ad page and message for you without you having to constantly sit there and watch it. Some of the things that we're currently building out for Nerve that we're implementing with ourselves is automatic split testing, where it will shut off the campaigns that aren't performing, or if it hits below a benchmark, this is where you're going. This is like having it turn off. And if it starts to spiral, or if it starts to go viral and it starts to like really take off, at that point, like reallocating ad spend. Having AI track what's happening with your traffic campaigns is an incredible way to optimize what you're doing. So instead of you having to constantly be in front and constantly watching it, setting up daily tasks, daily reminders, your AI is keeping track of it and then just creating tasks and flagging when it's ready and when it's there. The next part is asset creation. Generate creative variations for ads, SEO, AEO, and GEO campaigns. Watch what's going on. Let AI, if you're not a graphic designer, AI graphics are going to do. There is a saying that I learned a decade ago that to this day is still one of the backbones of everything I do. Done is better than perfect, because perfect never gets done. If you're not levered, if you don't know what you're doing from a graphic design standpoint, leveraging AI to go out and actually generate the creatives for you is going to be a night and day difference. It is going to transform how you market, how you advertise, what you're doing. And when I say asset creation, it's not just the creatives, it's also your content. Some of you guys are terrible content writers. That's okay. What you programmed in your AI at the beginning when you were setting up your brand, that is going to be critical for writing your sales content. Sales content is going to be much different, and ad content is going to be different than writing an email. It's going to be different than writing website content. It's a completely different animal in and of itself. And then when you start writing like your SEO content, you start writing your blogs and your posts and everything that goes along with it. That's a different animal in and of itself as well. Like there's all these different caveats that go into marketing. But having your AI programmed where it already understands your brand, it knows who you are, it knows how you function, it knows your products, it knows your offering, is going to alleviate a massive amount of work for you and make it where when it's done, all you have to do is review it, edit it a little bit, optimize it, go, cool, it's ready to go, and take off from there. I did put it in here, sorry. Content creation, fuel organic reach and local networking with a steady content engine. If you are not producing content, you are missing out. The more that people are exposed to AI, the more that people are adopting AI into their everyday life, the more critical content becomes for not only just for the AI to be able to refer to and recommend you when you're looking at your AEO, but it also has to do with your follow-up when you're engaging with people. Having the content there, like I said, there's all these different variations of types of content that you need to write. When you're writing in is going to start to branch off. So you may be looking at it going, hey, I want to write a traffic ad, or like an ad that's going to get in front of thousands and thousands of people, maybe even hundreds of thousands of people, but may have a lower click through. That's going to be a much different ad than saying, okay, you know what, I want to create a retargeting ad, or I want to run traffic to a lead magnet. When you're writing ad content, you're not just writing content and go, oh, hey, check us out, we can change your world, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, it kind of sounds that way, but what you're doing is you're selling the click of that ad. Meaning that, like, if I'm running ads, I'm not going out there going, hey, Profit Lifter, it's an all-in-one AI-powered marketing CRM, blah, 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 and getting them to click. What I'm doing is trying to address the problem they have and figuring out exactly where that's going to fit and how I can get them to click my ad. When you're writing content for an ad, it's not necessarily that you're going out there and trying to get them to convert from the ad. The conversion from the ad happens at the click. And having that in line and having your AI there and programmed can automate that content creation for you. Instead of you having to go out and do all the heavy lifting, sit down, reread it, have to get 3 or 4 people looking at it. Now you're letting the AI do the heavy work, and you're coming back and you're playing cleanup. You're coming back and you're jumping in and going, hey, I like this, but I'm going to tweak the language a little bit, and I want to tweak the call to action or whatever. But automating your content creation, automating the asset generation, and especially automating your split test and optimization is going to save you hours and hours of work every single week. And that's where you want to get to. Now that you have traffic, though, you have to think about, how am I actually going to capture that traffic that's showing up? Traffic without a capture is wasted. Now you turn visitors into leads systematically. And this is how you want to automate the capture. Landing pages. Along with your website builder, you also have an AI landing page and sales funnel builder in your Profit Lifter CRM. This is going to allow you to deploy high converting pages, built and iterated with AI, giving that first pass. But Keith, I still have to do work. Yes, you do, but you have no idea how much time it's going to save you. Like a lot of us, so I've been doing this for decades now, building landing pages, building funnels, building marketing. I understand the systems. I have wasted so much time waiting for a screen to load and going through and clicking fields and typing in and backspace and going to be simple things. Like I would be embarrassed if there was some counter out there that was keeping track of how many times I've had to delete and rewrite my name just because I misspelled it because my fingers got fumbled. AI is there to automate the clicks, automate the task. It's taking care of all the little things that happen that get you to that invaluable point of sitting back, looking at your landing page, going, okay, now that it's here, does it say what I want it to say? Does it do what I want it to do? The trick to it is knowing how to program it, but that comes later. Sales funnels guide every visitor down a proven automated path to conversion. If you are running ads, you should not be running ads just to your website. It's a waste of time. And there are some results that will come from it. But more importantly, when you're running ads, you should have one specific thing, one specific action that you're trying to get somebody to accomplish. This should be coming from your strategy. When you're running ads, for example, like let's say you're here and you're like, Keith, okay, I'm ready to grow, ready to run my first ad. What do I need to do? I'm not going to say, hey, go out and just launch a sales funnel and just try to get everybody signed up for $2,000, $3,000, $10,000. No, the first thing you want to do is you want to start generating leads. And if you want to capture leads, you have got to have something, you have got to give them value in exchange for their information. If you are not able to provide them value, they're not going to be willing to provide you their information. But AI is going to be critical in helping to create the landing pages, to create the sales funnels, to actually create the assets that you need to be able to run, to be able to capture those leads to get them in. And if you're wondering, your landing page should be the top of your sales funnel. Once they opt in, you keep moving them. You keep moving them through the stages. You start showing them. You start your sales funnel, and we'll just jump on a little rabbit trail here. Your sales funnel starts with an opt-in, your lead magnet. From there, you take them to the next step. Hey, you had a lead magnet. You want to schedule a consultation. Let's talk about your plans. Let's talk about whatever it is that you offer. From there, maybe you're offering a consultation. Or maybe you have a tripwire product where you're like, hey, look, you know what? You downloaded our ad. Here's a little $9 giveaway. Here's a little $9 thing that we usually sell for $100. I'm going to give it to you for $9, cover our costs. We'll send it to you for free. There are a lot of different things that you can do with lead magnets. This could be like an ebook or with tripwire. What I find is most of you have if you have a product, if you have something that you normally charge for, having it at a really reduced price, almost like a trial, but just a small ticket dollar trial, does wonders on getting people in. But then from there, now that they've opted in for that, you move them up to the next rim, the next product, and then you move them up to the next product. And you are systematically taking them through a process that starts them with a free download, gets a small ticket purchase, your bottom, a small ticket purchase, then your bottom offer, then your middle offer, and then your top offer, and wherever it goes from there. Your sales funnel is critical to people knowing how far you can go in this process. But it also helps you from a it helps you to convert people, because now you have a systematic path to move them through. You're not just guessing. And then from there, delivery flows. Route and deliver leads to the right place the moment they arrive. If you are not automating, if you're not automating your leads coming into your sales pipeline, you're missing the entire point of automation. This is like automation 101. Getting people into your workflows. This is getting them into your sales pipeline, getting them to the point that they're ready for the next phase, which is engagement. Okay, so engagement, this is where the automation really starts to take off. This is to get leads interacting with your brand immediately. This is where you start building the relationship with them. This includes emails, SMS. We're just gonna go ahead and put all these out here. This is gonna be emails, SMS, instant automated outreach. The moment a lead shows interest, the moment they locked in, they opt in, they get a little notification on their phone that says, "Hey, you got a new email from Profit Lifter." Voicemail drop. If somebody opts into a form and all of a sudden you have a missed call from Profit Lifter and there's a voicemail in there, it makes them feel like you are paying attention. It welcomes them in. Look, none of us like going into a room where everybody ignores us. If somebody's willing to give you their personal information, their email address, their phone number, it's like it's the difference of walking into a room and somebody coming up, giving you a hug, grabbing you around the shoulder, saying, "Man, I'm so glad you're here. We appreciate you being here. Let me show you around. Let me introduce you to people. Let me show you how we do things around here." It alleviates that fear of engagement because you're grabbing them by the hand going, "Hey, thanks for being here. Let me show you around." The other tools that you can use, voicemail drops. These are fantastic. These are included in your Profit Lifter CRM. Next is your outbound AI call bots, AI-driven calls that engage leads with your content and offer instantly. An outbound AI call bot can be an incredible conversion tool, not just from oh, hey, I'm going to get them to buy with my AI. No, the goal should be you're going to get them to schedule an appointment with your AI. The goal should be you're going to get the AI to actually handle the task after they have opted in, moving them further along in your sales process, moving them to the next phase, which is going to be to nurture them. Now, remember how I said I made up a number and said 99% of the people that come to you are not going to be ready to buy? This is where your nurture kicks in. One of the things that you will find, the longer that you start, the longer that you're in business, the longer you have a marketing system that's on autopilot, that's really just moving, that's singing, that's doing everything that you need it to do. Your nurture campaign becomes the most valuable part of your business. And the reason is because your nurture campaign's going to take those people who had opted in that weren't ready to buy, and it's going to build the relationship until they're ready. And that is the key of marketing. It's not about instant conversion, enough trust with them that when they're ready to buy, that you are the first person that they can think of. So included in your nurture should be some things like this: an AI receptionist, always on response, so no lead ever goes unanswered. And yes, people get frustrated with AI, but they were just as frustrated with automated calls and call systems. It's the same thing. Some people, they just feel like if they have enough time to pick up a phone, that you should have enough time to answer the phone. We as business owners know that's not always the case. We know that as business owners, we're a lot of times helping other clients when clients are calling in. So we don't have that luxury of being able to answer the call all the time. Having an AI receptionist can help on multiple different areas. It took me 2 years before I jumped in. Yeah, absolutely, Wayne. But having an AI receptionist there can alleviate stress on a lot of fronts. One, your phone is always answered. It's always there. It never goes unanswered. But not only that, you can automate responses. You can automate actions after the call, where the AI will look at it and go, "Oh, they were looking for customer support. Let's drop it into this workflow that creates an automated customer support ticket." That way, in the morning, when your team shows up or you show up, this is where you get to jump in, and this is where you get to start. This is where now you can take over because that task has already been created. Now, you as if you put yourself in a consumer perspective, you make a call to a company at 11 o'clock at night, they're not there, you're not stressed about it, you know that. But you notice that the first thing when they get in is when that company gets in, that they're already working on that ticket or whatever it is that you would engage, that you would ask them for, builds that confidence exponentially. And it's the same thing with your leads. If they feel like they can always connect with you on some level, if they feel that there's always a way for them to get a hold of you, you're earning their business, you're earning their trust. Next is going to be a long-term nurture campaign. Stay top of mind for weeks and months, years automatically. Having emails that are going out, having a system that is constantly nurturing that relationship. My favorite method for this is newsletters. I don't like static long-term nurture campaigns. I think it's a thing of the past. I think it's obsolete. Right now, we're in the world of AI where everybody's got a million different ideas, and not all of them get implemented, but they're like the ideas are just flowing. And things are changing faster than you can even blink. Like it seems like every 2 or 3 days we got a new AI model rolling out. But with that, things are constantly changing in industries. And right now, being in the middle of like an industrial revolution like we have got to stay flexible as business owners. We've got to be able to change in a week, in a month, and be able to go, oh, okay, you know what? We need to change what we're talking about. We need to change how we're doing things. We need to be able to adapt to what's going on. Your long-term nurture campaign doesn't necessarily need to be static. It could be AI generated newsletters that are going out every week. And if you want the pro tip, take those blog posts that you're doing to build your brand and deliver them weekly with your newsletter. Now you're writing fresh content every week and you're delivering it to your list. All those people that have opted in, they're reading your content, they're seeing what you're talking about, they're able to engage and grab it and really start moving forward. Your re-engagement interest triggers. Automated campaigns that fire the moment a lead re-engages. Now, these are two different things. So a re-engagement campaign is going to kind of cold outreach to someone, meaning that like what Wayne said here. Took Wayne 2 years before he jumped in, but that was after a re-engagement campaign, reaching out, engaging with them, just SMS messages, emails, voicemail drops. The same system you're using to engage with them up front, you're using on the re-engagement tactic side. You're bringing them back in and working with them through and getting them re-interested, getting them back in and working with them and moving them through. An interest trigger, though, is a different animal altogether. An interest trigger may be we throw up a landing page. Hey, we offer custom websites, custom HTML websites, high quality, not AI slop. Like these are built for you, like high quality websites. This will get you competing with the big boys out there in the industry. If somebody shows up on that, we didn't initiate their interest, but we're responding to their interest. Interest triggers may be like they land on a page, and then once they land on that page, you start an automated workflow. And that may be an email like, hey, this is Keith. I saw you just checked out our custom HTML websites. Let me explain how it works. Let me show you what we do. Let me show you, like, and you start taking them down the path. Now you're piquing their interest because it shows that you're paying attention to what they're doing. And not only that, you're able to score them. You're able to keep track of what's going on. You're able to know that, hey, this person's interested in whatever product page they visited. These are just some of the ways that you can nurture. There's a lot of different ways. One of the other things that I think that I know is phenomenal and works really well, setting up monthly promos, having webinars, having sales, having challenges, having events that you're hosting. These are all things that you can do that you can automate. You can automate the assets that are being built. You can move them through a process and put it on autopilot. All right, now that you've nurtured them, what are you going to do from there? This gets into the sales process. Your sales process automated end to end from first response to signed deals. Now, we're just going to click all these. It's so much easier. I've gotten spoiled. So here's how you want to automate your conversion process. Sales pipelines and AI scheduling. Move deals forwards and book meetings without manual follow-up. I I have hated for years the, what's your calendar look like? Well, here's what my calendar looks like. And you go back and forth and you spend 5-10 minutes on each meeting figuring out how you're going to follow up with someone. With AI scheduling, you're like, cool, hey, here, go to my landing page, chat with my AI, call my number. This works really well with the receptionist. And power user tip, if you have a sales team, having each of them having their own AI assistant, their own AI sales assistant that is booking them to their calendar, that is responding to their emails, that is moving them through the process, is going to save your team so much time and increase the engagement of that sales process. It is dynamic. But the other thing that you want to be thinking about is you want to be thinking about your automations. Like, what are the emails that you're sending while this is happening? It shouldn't be something. You should never leave your sales team up to guess what email needs to be sent. You should be defining this. You should be saying, hey, look, here's the email campaigns. Once they come in, once you pitch them, here's the email. Once you're following up with them, here's the sequences that go out. Your sales team should be on the phone, just talking to people, jumping in meetings, like doing the heavy lifting, letting the automations follow up from there. The more that you allow yours to take the work off of your team, the more productive your team's going to be. And that's what you're building. You're building a system that your team is able to actually leverage and free up their time and be more effective. The last one, checkout, invoicing, estimates, automated sales campaigns and paperwork done the moment it's needed. If you can automate the checkout, you can dominate the sales game. There's nothing to pay for your services, to pay for your product, but you having to be on the phone with them to take that order. That should never be the case. And with your CRM, that never has to be the case. This could be a checkout form that's embedded on your website. You can set up workflows that will automatically create an invoice that sends out based off them being interested. Right from the sales process, you go, oh, hey, look, send invoice, and it automatically populates in the products that they're buying and sends it out to them. You can even create estimates of proposals. So those of us who do work, we get in, we're building blood, sweat, and tears, actually figuring out, like, how are we going to do this, doing the work for the people. Even if we're leveraging AI tools, we're still putting in our time, our effort into it. We create the estimates, and then once they approve the estimates, or they're like, yeah, I agree, you can automatically create the invoice. Once they pay the invoice, you can automatically create the follow-up process. You can automatically send them into the new client onboarding sequence. You can automate from the sales handoff to the support handoff instantly. And that's the name of the game, because when your salesperson doesn't have to go, hey, boss, I just closed this person. What's happening? What happens next? It builds your sales team's confidence. It builds your customers' confidence. It builds your habit, like you're closing more sales. They're not facing the follow-up. The follow-up's happening automatically in them in. You're just putting people in, and they're following the system. The goal is to create the machine that is smoothly running every single time without hiccups, without having to go through and guess, without having to go through and hope that it's doing what it needs to do. And then the last stage of optimization to automate your business is going to be to maximize, making the most of every client. Automation does not stop at the sale. Automation only begins at the sale. Once a sale has happened, there's a lot that needs to happen. There's a lot that can happen. And these are a little bit out of order, so I'm going to jump around. You can follow along on your screen. Client nurture and upsell campaigns. Keep clients engaged at the next right offer automatically. If you have a product offer, if you've got of a product, bringing them in and automating how they're being upsold is critical to you actually maximizing your opportunities and the revenue with this. Keep clients engaged and surface the next right offer automatically. Don't leave it to guess. Don't wait for them to raise their hand. A lot of times when somebody signs up for a product, they don't know that you have higher tiers. They don't know that you have different offers that can go along with it. Having that client nurture and that upsell process will keep them moving through. And even if they're not ready, even if they can't afford it right then and there, they're going to remember, like, oh yeah, Profit Lifter will do all of this for me. They have a done for you service. They'll handle all of this for you. And when they're ready, they're going to jump in and buy at the right time when it's ready. Next is automated support tickets. Route and resolve client issues without adding headcount. Having your AI receptionist logging your support tickets. Having a ticket system and a workflow that will actually create the issues, even if it's just a simple form, like hey, give me your name, email address, and the problem that you have. Like those are the only 3 things that you need for a ticket system. Create a pipeline, create all your automations that notify them once the issue is resolved. It's very easy to automate a support ticket system for your clients. And then the last way to really maximize existing clients, creating the automate referral tracking and rewards to grow through your clients. Your clients love you, they know you, they're there, they're engaged. Give them the opportunity to make money with you. We all love making money. That's why we do what we do. We all love helping people. We want to be provided for. Even if somebody doesn't love making money, they love helping people. And having an affiliate program gives them that ability to help people and monetize it at the same time. This is how you get to a point where you're really starting to maximize how you're engaging with people. Because now you're not just meeting clients or users or whatever. You're getting to a point that you're building out a referral army that is constantly feeding you. All right, here's my golden rule. I told you we would get into a couple tips for helping you to automate and build, to building your growth. Here is my strategy. Use AI to build, use humans to optimize and improve. So the number one thing, program your AI knowledge base. Look, you may have chatted with AI. You may have all these different streams. You may open up Claude or ChatGPT and you've just got hundreds of different things. I'm not saying I do, but I do. But you have all these different areas that you have all these different chats going on with all of this stuff. Consolidate your knowledge base. Get together your core knowledge base. This is one of the most critical tools that you can ever have in your business right now, is having a knowledge base that is actually working for you, that is actually programming, that is actually telling your AI how to engage. Feed your AI the context it needs before it ever builds anything. The reason that AI produces slop is because it's not programmed properly and it's not prompted properly. If you just tell AI, build me a website, it's going to build you a website. It's going to give you the exact same website that it's produced for a million other people this month. It's not going to be anything special. It's not going to be anything impressive. It's going to look like AI. Now, I'm sorry to burst your bubble. You may be here, but like, Keith, I just launched my AI website. That's cool. I know you're excited about it. All babies are beautiful to their mothers and fathers, but not all babies are beautiful. All babies are beautiful, but you understand what I'm saying. Everybody thinks their thing is the coolest thing because at the time you invested into it, getting it where it needs to go. But if it's not done properly, if you do not have your actual brand developed, if you do not have your products, your offer, if it's not intact, all you're doing is just creating generic content, just generic stuff. And generic doesn't convert. I will stand by that 1,000,000%, even more now than ever before. Generic does not convert. Generic will know, they got AI, that's cool. So step one, program your AI. Next, step two, doesn't whine like the if you're this is the best comment of the day. At least AI doesn't whine like the X. If your AI is not whining at you like the X, then you're not treating it right. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to throw that out there. No, AI is, yeah, it shouldn't whine at you, but sometimes it does when you make it too complex. Um, Step two, plan your project. If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. If you get out there and you're like, I'm going to build this, I'm going to build my nurture campaign, and you're just like, and you just go to AI, and even if you have your knowledge-based program, you're like, hey, give me an indoctrination campaign. What does that actually look like? Like, what do you need it to do? What is the goal it's accomplishing? What is the strategy that you're going to use with it? What, like, if you're not telling AI the strategy that you want it to use, it's going to be generic. Look, AI is generic. AI is it's going to give you, it's going to take a lot of the work off of you, but it's going to come out generic. You start executing it and telling it, hey, look, we want to follow this content strategy. We want to have 6 emails that go out in our Indoc campaign. We're going to hit, first one's going to be a big warm welcome, and then we're going to have hit our 5 unique value propositions. I've got the 5 UVPs already programmed in the AI knowledge base. From there, now it's got context. Now you've got a plan. You've got a strategy behind it, even if it's not a super in-depth strategy. So while you're building, the first thing, make sure you're programmed. But the second thing, work through your plan first, and then build. One time. If you program, you plan, then building, do it right once. Resist the urge to rebuild from scratch each time. Perfect planning prevents pretty poor performance all day. Sorry, I'm on YouTube. There's some things I'm not supposed to say, I think. The 6P principle, perfect planning, or I always use poor planning prevents poor performance. But yes, you're exactly right. Yes, plan. If you, one of my favorite quotes that, and I know it's wrong, but it was attributed to Abraham Lincoln. I don't think that ever happened. But it's the quote of, if you gave me 8 hours to chop down a tree, I'd spend the first 6 hours sharpening my axe. When I grabbed onto that concept, it made my life so much smoother. Meaning that if I know I have to build something, and I've got a 2-hour window to build it, and I spend my first hour just programming and planning, by the time it gets to building, it is so much smoother. I get the results that I'm looking for because I have a plan, meaning I'm giving my vision. I know what I want to see. I'm telling it what I want it to do. It's programmed with the right information, so it's not just out there producing slop. And now when I get into build, it means that it's actually building a model way closer than what I would have come up with it. And then replicate. This is the secret sauce of automation. Replicate for fast implementation. Reuse the system across clients, campaigns, and offers instantly. When I build a landing page, I don't just use a landing page one time. I'm going to duplicate it. I'm going to revamp it. I'm going to take that optimized version that we already know is working, and we're going to reuse it over and over and over and over again. Why? Because it's working. Why am I going to change it? Like, if it's not broke, just make it a little bit better. And now that I have a new campaign, now that I have something new that's there, instead of having to go through and start from scratch and build from zero, I'm duplicating, I'm replicating what's there, and then just connecting all the pieces from there and letting the AI do it. Build your automation smart, not hard. Just because AI can build something doesn't mean that AI should build it. This is a very important lesson for all of us to learn. Just because it can do it doesn't necessarily mean that it should do it. If you program, you plan, you build, and then you replicate, you are now creating a system that compounds, that builds, that over time it multiplies. Because here's the thing, we have these conversations constantly. Well, you know what? Just help me get it up and going. It'll be fine. No, it's not going to be fine. Like, anybody who tells me that, I know is never actually, they may have owned a business, but they've never operated a business. When you build a marketing campaign, it's great for a while, But after a month, that starts to cap out. And now you're looking at, man, I've already got my sales team capped out, but this campaign will only produce like 100 leads a month. What do I do from here? Now you've got to start looking at different angles. You've got to start bringing in different campaigns. You've got to start bringing in new things. You have a new product. You have a new offer. You have a promo that you want to run for the month. You need a sale. There's always things moving in marketing your company. There's always things moving when you're advertising, when you're marketing, when you're growing. And being able to have an asset list that's available, that you can replicate, that you can turn into recurring structure is the golden rule for making sure that your business is running and making sure that you're automating. All right, recap. Let automation build, you refine, execute, and grow. This is going to be your traffic, automate your brand, your traffic, your capture, your engagement, your nurture, all of the things that you need to that you're looking for. And if you have not done it yet, make sure you go to mia.profitlifter.com. This is the first, remember, plan or knowledge base in your plan are the first two critical pieces to building your automation, and that is what we have built for you. Let me throw it out here for you so you have it. And those of you guys who are hanging out with us, if you have not built your free growth plan with Mia, you need to. Mia it's not easy. I'm going to warn you, this is not an easy process. It's going to take you a little bit of time. It could easily take you 30 minutes. Sometimes it takes people an hour. Like I've coached people that it's taken us 2 hours to get through a growth plan with Mia. Why? Because we dug down. Like we took the time to think through it properly, to actually come up with a strategy. And then from there, the results that we got are fantastic. Now, once you're done with Mia, when you hop in there, I will tell you a secret. It's free. There's a promo code in there. It's real simple. It's just free Mia. And she's not in prison. She's not in danger. Nothing like that. But she is there. But Mia will actually help you. This will give you about 100-page printout of everything about your business, your brand, all of the knowledge base that you need. So when you start building, it's already automated for you. You've already got the plan. You've already got the strategy in place. It's already there. It's ready. You've already crossed off the two hardest parts of this, which is building the knowledge base and coming up with a plan. With Mia, you now have a knowledge base. You have a plan. Now it gets into execution, which is where Nerve comes in. So if you want to see execution in action, make sure you hang out with us next week. I'm going to be showing you all the cool stuff that's happening inside of Nerve. We're going to be doing live examples of building automations, building websites, building landing pages, all of it live next week on the AI Growth Hackers. But until then, make sure that you're hopping, make sure that you get your free growth plan at mia.profitlifter.com. And if you need help, if you want to talk, if you're like, hey, Keith, I'm ready to take my marketing to the next level, but I don't want to do it, make sure to go to profitlifter.com/tour. We would be more than happy to walk you through, come up with a strategy for you, and show you how ProfitLifter can take over that marketing. We've got growth plans where we'll run your entire marketing, we'll run your ads, we'll even do your SEO, your AEO, all your GASEO. We'll handle all of that for you. We'll take it off of your plates. We'll create the plan, we'll do the execution, and all you have to do is sit back and approve it like the boss that you are. And you get to boss us around, tell us what to do, and we will make it happen for you. So again, that's profitlifter.com/tour. If you have any questions, we can help you out there. Until next week, you guys are rock stars. I appreciate you being here, and we will see you next week. Later.